Welcome to Global North. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The Supreme Court's rulings on the Second Amendment have shaped the nation's approach to gun rights for decades. Each decision can expand or limit who can own or carry firearms, with real-world impacts on public safety and individual liberty. Landmark cases like District of Columbia versus Heller and New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin have redefined the legal landscape, establishing an individual's right to own a gun for self-defense and setting new standards for evaluating gun laws. These precedents ripple through the legal system, guiding lawmakers and lower courts. The court's interpretations are closely watched, as they clarify the boundaries of the Second Amendment and influence future legislation. Recent years have seen a surge in legal challenges, with courts nationwide grappling with how to apply the Supreme Court's evolving standards. Every new ruling becomes a pivotal chapter in the ongoing story of gun rights in America. The justices' opinions set the course for future regulation and public understanding of constitutional rights. Supreme Court's decisions do more than resolve legal disputes. They shape the national conversation and the future of firearm regulation. As the final arbiter, the court balances historical context with modern challenges, ensuring its influence endures. In this video, we'll explore how the court's latest decisions are reshaping the debate over gun rights and public safety. In a landmark 8-1 decision, the Supreme Court upheld a federal law allowing the government to temporarily disarm individuals under domestic violence restraining orders. This ruling in United States v. Rahimi clarifies that the right to bear arms is not absolute. Public safety can justify restrictions. The decision provides strong legal backing for a law protecting domestic abuse victims for nearly 3 decades. Had the law been struck down, thousands with violent histories could have regained access to firearms. The court's consensus signals that preventing domestic violence is a compelling government interest. Importantly, the ruling clarifies confusion from the Bruin decision, confirming that courts can look to historical principles, not just identical old laws, when evaluating modern gun regulations. By upholding the federal ban, the court draws a clear line. The Second Amendment does not protect those judicially determined to threaten their partners or families. This decision reaffirms the government's ability to enact common-sense laws to prevent predictable violence. It's a major victory for public health and survivor advocates. The law at the heart of Rahimi, enacted in 1994, bars those under domestic violence restraining orders from possessing firearms. This measure responds to the heightened risk of homicide when guns are present in domestic abuse situations. The Rahimi case highlighted these stakes. After a restraining order for assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Rahimi was involved in multiple shootings. His lawyers argued the ban lacked historical precedent, but the court found otherwise. Supporters pointed to a long tradition of disarming those deemed dangerous to public peace. The court's majority agreed, stating the Second Amendment allows regulations disarming those who are not responsible, law-abiding citizens. By connecting modern law to enduring historical principles, the court ensured these protections remain on solid legal ground. This decision saves lives by upholding essential safeguards for vulnerable individuals. The Rahimi decision is part of a broader re-examination of the Second Amendment, with other cases challenging gun rights on private property and for drug users. One case questions whether states can restrict guns in places like malls without property owner permission. Another tests if federal law can ban gun ownership for those using controlled substances, even if legal under state law. The court must apply the Bruin historical test to these modern scenarios, just as it did in Rahimi. The Rahimi ruling's flexible, principle-based approach may guide outcomes in these cases, signaling openness to reasonable, historically rooted regulations. How the court applies this logic will further define the boundaries of gun rights in the 21st century. The Rahimi debate highlights the tension between individual rights and collective security. Gun rights advocates argue the Second Amendment protects individual self-defense and shouldn't be easily infringed, even in civil matters like restraining orders. They warn that disarming someone, without a criminal conviction, risks eroding rights for all. Gun safety advocates counter that the right to bear arms isn't unlimited, especially when there's a clear danger to others. The Supreme Court ultimately sided with public safety, affirming that temporary, judicially determined restrictions are justified to protect vulnerable people. The decision strikes a balance between liberty and security, setting a precedent for future cases. The Rahimi ruling redefines Second Amendment law in the post-Bruin era. By rejecting a rigid historical test, the court empowers judges to look for broader principles, not just exact replicas of old laws. This flexible approach creates a crucial guardrail, ensuring the right to bear arms isn't a shield for dangerous behavior. The decision provides a clear roadmap for lower courts and supports laws targeting dangerous conduct, like red flag laws. It signals a move toward a more balanced interpretation of gun rights, affirming self-defense while recognizing limits for public safety. The ruling stabilizes Second Amendment jurisprudence, moving away from absolutism. It ensures the Constitution protects both individual liberty and the public interest in preventing violence. The Supreme Court's Rahimi decision will shape gun laws and debates for years to come. Lawmakers now have clearer guidance for crafting regulations that target demonstrably dangerous individuals, rooted in historical principles. The ruling encourages states to strengthen laws like domestic violence and red flag provisions, knowing they're more likely to withstand legal challenges. For the public, it clarifies that rights come with responsibilities. Gun ownership doesn't extend to those legally identified as threats. The decision sets a pivotal precedent for future cases, moving Second Amendment law toward nuance and principle. Ultimately, it affirms that the Constitution can protect both individual freedoms and collective well-being, ensuring common-sense laws can prevent tragedy and save lives.